before.
And his vitals are completely normal.
Let's start with a quote from one of the smartest characters in the MCU. "The world doesn't need heroes. It needs people who are willing to make the tough decisions." We're all excited to see Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Good evening, my friends. Welcome to the second part of our weekly news segment, What's New with the News. You know the focus is on the silver screen, both big and small. In the world of cinema, we've got the introduction of the first family of the MCU, a sequel focused on the number 28 and zombies, a new film from the director of Barbarian, and yet another remake from the 90s. On TV, Netflix is taking center stage with two sequels, one involving the scariest family on TV, and the other based on one of the greatest comic books ever created. And to wrap things up, we've got something related to our beloved xenomorphs, coming to terrorize us once again. Buckle up and watch the video till the end. YouTube? So what about you? Between the cinema release of Thunderbolts and the TV premiere of The Eternaut, which one are you choosing today? But first, you know the drill, we're gonna need you to start the video.
Sie ist eingecheckt.
Wir kommen wegen eines H1-Arbeitsvisums.
Josh?
Mein Sohn ist verschwunden.
Let's kick things off with a title from Germany. Exterritorial is an action thriller directed by Christian Zubert, released on Netflix on April 30th, 2025. The film follows a former Special Forces soldier who, after her son goes missing at the U.S. consulate in Frankfurt, illegally stays on site to search for him. Unknowingly, she gets entangled in a dangerous conspiracy. The lead role is played by Jean Gourceau.
This is a glorious day. The day of judgment. My children!
Now, let's talk about one of the most anticipated sequels of the year. 28 Years Later is the long-awaited sequel to 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later, directed by Danny Boyle and written by Alex Garland. The film premieres on June 20th, 2025, kicking off a new trilogy about infections. The cast includes Jack O'Connell, Jodie Comer, and Ralph Fiennes. The next installment, The Bone Temple, is set to release on January 16th, 2026.
Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different.
Moving on to the horror and suspense genre, Weapons is the latest horror film from Zach Kreger, director of Barbarian, and it premieres on August 8th. The story revolves around the mysterious disappearance of children in the small town of Maybrook, with multiple interconnected narratives. The cast includes Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, and Benedict Wong. The trailer hints at an eerie atmosphere with possible supernatural elements.
Følger du etter meg, eller?
Vil du sove?
3 ganger på en dag. Hvor skal du?
How about a change of pace with a title about intimacy? Love is the second film in the Norwegian The Oslo trilogy, directed by Dag Johan Haugerud, and it premieres in the US on May 16, 2025. The story follows Marianne, a straight doctor, and Tor, a gay nurse who share intimate conversations about desire, relationships, and societal norms. The focus is on the search for emotional connection and intimacy outside conventional molds. The film premiered at the Venice Film Festival in 2024.
Baby, you okay? Why don't you go upstairs and do that guided meditation you like?
Looks like 90s remakes are making a comeback. The new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie premieres on July 18th, 2025, bringing back the iconic story of 5 friends who cover up a deadly accident. A year later, they are stalked by someone who knows their secret and is out for revenge. They discover the tragedy happened before and turn to survivors of the 1997 massacre. The cast includes Madeline Klein, with the return of Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Wow, folks, we all know the story. 4 brave astronauts head off into space.
And we just have to wrap up with the next big MCU release. Fantastic Four First Steps premieres on July 24, 2025, introducing the iconic team to the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a retro-futuristic 1960s style. Pedro Pascal leads the cast, facing off against Galactus and Shalla-Bal. The film marks the return of Marvel's first family following Disney's acquisition of Fox. Their return is confirmed for Avengers: Doomsday in 2026.
But sometimes you have to do a bad thing to make the world better.
Let's start with a live-action adaptation. The new Netflix series BT, partially inspired by the manga Kakegurui, premieres on May 15th. Set in a school where social status is defined by gambling, the story follows a mysterious student with a tragic past seeking revenge. With 10 episodes, the series is produced by Boat Rocker Media and has Simon Barry as the showrunner.
Kittens, bright copper kettles, and warm woolen mittens.
Anything else on your person?
Fans were eagerly awaiting this sequel, and Netflix didn't disappoint. Season 2 of Wednesday, starring Jenna Ortega, premieres on Netflix in 2 parts, August 6th and September 3rd. In her second year at Nevermore Academy, Wednesday returns with her dark humor, reconnects with Enid, and faces new mysteries. The trailer highlights the gothic atmosphere and the return of the peculiar Addams family.
La nourriture, c'est ce qui fait un pays. Comme sa langue, son art.
Enter the kitchen, or rather, the Apple TV Plus scene. Careme is a new French-language drama series on Apple TV Plus, which premiered on April 30th, and tells the story of Antonin Careme, the first celebrity chef. Played by Benjamin Voisin, the protagonist gains fame and is recruited as a spy by powerful politicians. Inspired by the book Cooking for Kings, the series explores ambition, revenge, and the cost of success.
You happen to know where this house is?
Everybody knows the Cliff House. Fare $75, holiday pricing.
Another drama with a star-studded cast and the Netflix seal. Sirens is a Netflix miniseries premiering on May 22nd, starring Julianne Moore, Millie Alcock, and Megan Fahey. Set on a luxurious island, the story follows Devon, who suspects the relationship between her sister and their enigmatic wealthy employer. With social satire, secrets, and dark humor, the series delves into relationships marked by trauma and distrust.
I summon the family to me. It is I, Destiny of the Endless, who calls you. Brother Dream.
The Lord of Dreams is back. Season 2 and the final season of The Sandman will premiere on Netflix in 2 parts, with the first volume on July 3rd and the second on July 24th. The season promises to conclude Dream's story and his relationship with the Endless siblings. The teaser reveals a major family reunion and the conclusion of the plot, based on the award-winning DC comic series. And we end with our favorite xenomorphs, the Alien. Earth marketing team has released 3 new teasers, including Gestation Complete, which shows the gestation and birth of an alien creature, and Crate, which hints that Earth might face more than just xenomorphs. The Gestation Complete teaser highlights the retro-futuristic style of the 1979 original movie, with scenes inside the Weyland-Yutani ship and an ominous message: new species detected.
As the challenged, I set the meter and take the first move.
Very well. Make your move.
I am a dire wolf. Prey stalking.
Let's wrap things up with a quote from one of the greatest film sagas of all time, now making its way to television. I have a directorial statement. The alien is the ultimate predator. Not much else to add, right? So, are you all ready for the invasion this summer? Which headline did you enjoy the most? On the big screen, we got the long-awaited debut of the MCU's first family, another intense horror title that promises chills, a fresh 90s remake, an action-packed special forces thriller with Netflix flair, and of course, the epic conclusion to the saga born from the minds of Danny Boyle and Alex Garland. On TV, we saw a bold live-action adaptation, the return of Jenna Ortega as Wednesday, the rise of history's first rock star chef, the comeback of the Lord of Dreams and his dysfunctional siblings, and yes, the beginning of Earth's alien invasion. Ellen Ripley warned us, sometimes the only solution is a bomb. Drop a like, share this video with your friends and on your socials. Have a great start to the week, and don't go far, because part 3 of our news roundup is just around the corner. When it drops, make sure you come back too.